pushed the door open, shoved him onto the hemp bed inside. He left the room, and then looked at, standing at the door, a woman wearing a crimson, smiling,
floral dress. Master, the person has been brought.
King Feng cupped his fist towards Ruantang. Well done. Here, this is your reward. She took out a pouch of money from her bosom and handed it to King Feng.
Thank you for your reward, Master. If you have any more good opportunities like this in the future,
remember to give them to me.
Naturally, King Feng had the best martial arts, Qinggong skills among the people.
She raised. This one shall take his leave. Wishing you a delightful evening, my mistress.
King Feng's teasing made Ruantang blush behind her veil. After a while, she turned to look at the maid behind her. Guard outside. Yes, miss. As of tonight, she has been in this dynasty for a full 5 years. At least she doesn't have to worry about food and clothing anymore. Having free time, she started thinking about other things. For example, to have a child of her own, to inherit her beauty and career. She pushed the man onto the bed. Ruantang also climbed onto the bed, leaning against the side next to the man, resting her chin on one hand. Young master, don't be nervous. There is no malice in inviting you here tonight. I just want to make a deal with you. I want to buy one from you. A good seed. Is that okay? The man was not only acupunctured, but rendered immobilized at key points, but also to be unable to speak. He can't move at all now, nor can he curse. But the woman beside him turned a blind eye. One hand began to wander restlessly over his body. First his cheek, then down, sliding over his slightly stubbled chin. Then his neck, Adam's apple, and collarbone. Young master, you are so handsome. Ruantang's hand lingered on his body. She couldn't help but exclaim. With such gorgeous looks, not having a child is truly a waste of God's gifts. As she spoke, she took out small, brownish-black pills from her bosom, ignoring the warning in the man's eyes,
and stuffed them directly into his mouth. Do you know who I am? And what you've just taken from me?
Of course, I know. Ning, the prince, second only to the emperor, in the Great Zhou dynasty. Who in the Great Zhou dynasty doesn't know?
That? Knowing my identity, you still dare to? Aren't you afraid I'll kill you?
Chu Miu said through gritted teeth. Afraid? Of course, I am. But in this Great Zhou dynasty, a vast and populous nation, it is truly difficult to find a man who is both talented and handsome. Helplessly, I had to invite you to come here. Actually, the main thing is that the moment Ruantang saw his portrait, she had a feeling that it was him. Don't worry, I just want to borrow a seat from you. You won't suffer any loss, and I will definitely not pester you afterward.
If you dare to mess around, I will definitely kill you.
Chu Miu's angry tone showed nervousness. He circulated inner strength, trying to break through the acupoints, but the black-clothed man's power is truly terrifying. He tried several times but couldn't undo it. And this time it is even worse. He couldn't unlock the acupoints. Instead, he felt a heat rising from his lower abdomen, rushing straight to his head. Chu Miu realized something and looked at the woman in disbelief. Oh, so this is what it feels like. Feels so good. The woman's caress eased the heat in his lower abdomen a bit. He endured the discomfort and said, his breathing unsteady,
Take your filthy hands off me immediately, and release me. I might spare you from death.
Ruantang touched his lower abdomen with her fingertip. Are you sure, Your Highness, Prince Ning? Do you really want to leave now? Throughout the night, Ruantang conquered Chu Miu with the brothel's secret manual, while Chu Miu resisted, but later unconsciously closed his eyes and enjoyed it. The woman lay on top of him, panting softly. He actually felt it wasn't enough. You! Once again! Your aggressive advances are annoying. You're killing me! Ruantang groaned sweetly and climbed off him.
Lying down beside him, acting innocent, after taking advantage.
So shameless.
What exactly did you feed me?
It is nothing. Just a little aphrodisiac. Harmless to the body. Chu Mu stared intently with his dark, icy eyes at Ruantang. He never thought that one day he would be defeated by such a trick.
You shameless woman. I order you to release me immediately, otherwise I will definitely tear you to pieces.
Ruantang acted as if she hadn't heard. She ran her finger over a certain part of him and said with a smile, My lord, you really are open-minded. You look like this now. Wouldn't it be cruel to let you go like this? How about I let you go after we're done? Huh? With that, she took out a book from her bosom. A book called Secrets of the Pleasure House. As she read, she murmured, Hands slip into the garments.
Caress.
All of them are lewd words. Chu Miu's face darkened upon hearing this. Another rush of heat went straight to his head. Ruantang glanced at her and glared. Huh, acting innocent after taking advantage. Isn't that you? I heard you humming comfortably just now, Your Highness. Humphrey Chu Miu couldn't keep a straight face. Her originally dark face was now flushed red.
Lies, rogue.
I despise a shameless woman like you.
How could I enjoy it?
Okay, Ningguang is tacit. Tacit. Get a good night's sleep. You won't remember what happened tonight when you wake up tomorrow morning. Good girl. As she spoke, Ruantang reached out and touched his cheek again. A fragrance wafted over him. Chu Miu's mind immediately became muddled, and in no time, his eyelids drooped, and he fell into a deep sleep. Ruantang took out a few silver notes from her bosom and stuffed them into his hand. Well, the money and goods are settled. We owe each other nothing. This money buys you one night. You shouldn't feel like you are at a loss. Chenghan helped Ruantang into the carriage. The carriage was spacious, with a soft couch specially placed inside. As soon as Ruantang entered, she leaned against the soft couch and closed her eyes. Okay, 哲涵，我眯了一会儿，for a while. Wake me up after we leave the city. Yes, miss. Leaning against the soft couch at this moment, the carriage started to move, with bumps and jolts, and before long, she fell into a dream. What time is it, Chen Shi? It shouldn't take this long to get from there to the city gate. Why did Chenghan wake me up so late? Have we left the city? Ruantang sat up, puzzled, lifted the gauze and looked outside. The street was crowded with people and hawkers. Clearly, they hadn't left the city yet. The inspection from that time seems to be about last night's events. Prince Ning is arresting people. Prince Ning. He is awake. Chenghan nodded hesitantly. Ruantang frowned, lifted the curtain, and looked towards the city gate. Suddenly, a familiar figure caught her eye. She quickly put down the curtain in her hand. She is really awake. Oh no, it seems Ningxi's internal medicine has failed. Oh no, it won't be easy for her to leave the city. If she gets caught, she'll probably die. Without a burial place, turn around. It is not advisable to leave the city now. Although she wore a veil last night, and the light in the room was also dim, I can't guarantee that she won't be exposed.
Yes, master.
At the city gate.
Chu Miu stood on the city wall. He was tall with broad shoulders, and he had been here for over an hour, but they haven't found a single suspicious person.
This king refuses to believe. Does that woman really have supernatural ability to tunnel through the earth and escape?
The route was given to Xiaofeng by Qingfeng. You can also leave the city from here. However, this road is quite rugged. But fortunately, the group crossed the mountains and left the vicinity of the capital. Chu Miu's men didn't come after him. After returning to his own residence, he finally felt completely relieved. A month later, Ruantang hurriedly left the house, braving the spring chill, and went to the street corner. Wonderful Hands Clinic. Ruantang wore a veiled hat, sitting at Wonderful Hands Clinic's consultation table, wearing a veiled hat, and extended a slender hand.
Madam, where do you feel unwell?
My period is 7 days late. I'd like to ask the doctor to take my pulse. Do I need an appointment? After saying this, she withdrew her hand. How is it, doctor? However, the doctor shook his head.
Well, madam, you don't have a pregnancy pulse. But your pulse is weak. And your qi and blood are deficient. Recently, it is mostly because you've been overworked that your period is delayed.
After hearing the doctor's words, Ruanda's head
Drooped instantly. Ha, I see that madam's body is in good condition. Getting pregnant is only a matter of time. Don't worry. I believe your wish will soon be fulfilled.
Ruantang smiled silently. He naturally knew how his body was, but fulfilling his wish would probably be difficult. Ningguang only has this one chance.
Master, they say you really like children that much. Xiaofang is willing to help Master find a quality man again. Surely, other than Prince Ning, there must be someone even better. I am also willing to help Master find one.
Ling Xing也附和. Sigh. Someone worse than Prince Ning would be fine. Hurry up and get this done. Oh, last time he went to Shangjing, he also thoroughly witnessed the prosperity and extravagance of Shangjing. If he could open a shop of his own there, it would be worth more than several of his shops here. Therefore, he took the risk and decided to go to Bianzhou. Ruantang led the caravan into another mountain forest. They stopped after reaching a flat area in a mountain hollow, surrounded by high mountains and forests. This is a good place for trading. Only after getting closer did I realize that this group were all burly men, and the leader was a man wearing half a mask. Does the young master want the goods now? We pay the money, and you deliver the goods. You are a straightforward lady.
Then, those people opened
Several earthenware pots. They pinched salt and put it in their mouths.
The goods you brought are indeed good. This is your reward.
Then, this little lady won't stand on ceremony. Now that the transaction is complete, there's no need to linger any longer. After their carriage turned around and left, the masked man then gave a look to the group of strong men beside him. Soon, a few of them led the way into the nearby mountain forest. They turned and traveled a short distance, when 5 or 6 burly men wearing capes rushed out. In an instant, they brought their carriage to a screeching halt. Qingfeng was instantly alarmed and drew the long sword from under the driver's seat.
Master, we're surrounded. If I am not mistaken, it should be the same group we delivered the goods to earlier.
When Qingfeng stopped the carriage, Zhuantang suspected something was wrong. 果然, just as I thought. Zhuantang was glad he brought Qingfeng along. 师傅，这么多人, people. Do you have a plan?
Of course, I do.
As martial arts master, how could Qingfeng have known for me? Just then, with a whoosh, the sound of an arrow piercing the air came. One of the strong men grunted, fell to the ground, twitched a few times, and then stopped moving. To be able to shoot someone down in such a dark, rainy night with such precision, one can imagine how skilled that person's archery is. Their target is the person in the carriage. No need to fight them head-on.
Your Highness, should we pursue them?
Nanfeng watched the people scattering and fleeing, turning to ask Chu Miu. But Chu Miu looked at the fleeing carriage, his gaze lingering. He didn't answer him. After a moment, Nanfeng spoke again.
The people in that carriage must be the ones sent by Siyun Qiyuan. Your Highness, why don't we deal with them first?
Earlier, Chu Miu's men discovered weapons in Dianzhou, a sign of rebellion. Pursue! Chu Miu gave the order and rode off alone in pursuit of the carriage's escape route. The carriage sped along for a quarter of an hour, when suddenly the horse let out a piercing shriek and collapsed. The carriage was pulled down and overturned as well. He only felt a whirl of dizziness, and his body was violently thrown against the wooden planks of the carriage wall. Qingfeng ran over to help them both up. Just then, a man on horseback, a man dressed in black, appeared in their sight. That familiar sense of oppression made him involuntarily clutch Qingfeng's arm. Qingfeng also felt his tension, and subconsciously pulled him behind himself. Chu Miu sat on horseback, looking down
At the 3 people standing on the ground, cooperate obediently if you don't want to die.
Isn't this the guy I am supposed to be grafting? How nice of him. I haven't even put on his seat yet. And here he is at my door. What is really deadly is, he is currently committing a crime, punishable by the extermination of 9 generations of his family. Humph! Qingfeng, can you hold them off?
I can, but... Qingfeng paused.
His gaze fixed on a small crossbow in Chu Mu's hand.
But what? He has a crossbow. Even if I hold them off, I probably won't be able to escape. He only needs 1 arrow, and he can shoot you through.
Qingfeng told the truth. Huh? Then what do we do?
Well, negotiate. Negotiate with him.
Negotiate? How do we negotiate? Oh no. He is Prince Ning. He would definitely recognize me if I spoke. Qingfeng's lips twitched. No wonder he felt familiar. It is that old lech.
Prince Ning! Why don't you just submit to him? Maybe he'll remember that night and let you off the hook.
Qingfeng said leisurely. Zhuantang glared at him, gnashing her teeth. Are you trying to rebel? Who's your master? Hey, I am serious.
Otherwise, you seduce him and make him fall head over heels for you.
Then, I can have 2 masters.
Go to hell! Zhuantang reached out and pinched his back hard. I'd rather die. 就死 pushed past Qingfeng and Chunhan and walked forward a few steps, raised his head, looked for a long time at Zhu on horseback, and wiped the rain off his face. Just when everyone thought he was about to start a verbal battle with the crowd, with a thud, Zhuantang suddenly knelt directly on the ground. Without hesitation, he kowtowed, covered with rain and mud, on the ground. Humph! Have mercy, hero! No one expected he would resort to such a move. Even Qingfeng and Chenghan were stunned by him.
If you resist, we'll settle the score. Together, for the girl sleeping with me.
Spare us, young master! We're not bad people! I am a decent woman, out for a stroll, and got lost in these mountains. I didn't expect to be targeted by those bandits. Life is more important than anything. What is the harm in kneeling?
Don't try to play dumb with me, miss.
I am not a good person. You say you are a decent woman.
What is your proof?
Huh?
What proof? Isn't my face proof enough? Looking so devastatingly beautiful, even I feel pity. Is this what someone from Chubei looks like? Ruantang raised her head, exposing her entire soft and chubby face to him, as if to say, look, such an innocent and pure face. Chu Mu's eyes darkened. He walked over to Ruantang and squatted down.
I don't have time to play games with you. Tell me, the salt smuggling. Were you involved too? The cold light flashing in his sharp eyes
made Ruantang feel as if he were a terrifying viper.
If you cooperate, you may be punished leniently.
If you resist, you will die.
Then he leaned closer to Ruantang's ear and softly added,
If you resist, we'll settle the score for that trick of yours, seducing me. If you resist, we'll settle the score for the trick of you sleeping with me.
Ruantang widened her eyes in disbelief at Chu Mu. When was I exposed? How did he find out? She wore a veil the whole time that night. Hey, that is not right. How could I possibly have been discovered? How could I possibly have been exposed? Chu Mu watched her reaction, a smile forming at the corner of his lips, feeling great. Take him away. He stood up and gave the order. Yes! Meanwhile, Qingfeng. As Chu Miu gave the order, Qingfeng grabbed Cheng Hang's arm and used his shoulder as a fulcrum, sending them flying to the air.
Master, I'll take my leave first. Don't worry, I'll come back to save you.
Qingfeng's voice faded away. Ruantang finally realized what happened. She watched Qingfeng disappear, and Changhan into the rainy night. She was so angry that her lungs were about to explode. I swear, as soon as I escape from Prince Ning's clutches, I will definitely flay Qingfeng alive. This is absolutely ridiculous. How could they abandon their master and run for their lives? What am I going to do? Chu Miu, who had stood up beside her, couldn't help but chuckle.
Your attendants are truly unconventional.
Just when she thought she was going to be jolted to death on horseback, the horse finally stopped, without giving her a moment to catch her breath. She was thrown into a dark and damp prison cell. In her heart, Ruantang cursed Chu Miu's ancestors for the umpteenth time. After a long time, the prison cell was opened again. Chu Miu had changed into a black, close-fitting suit, with a face like jade and deep phoenix eyes. This guy really hit her sweet spot. She couldn't get enough of looking at him.
Indeed, a shameless woman. Those eyes only know how to stare at men.
Ruantang was also brought back to her senses by his snort. I spit on that. I really want to roll my eyes at him and slap him silly. But this is his territory. I have to smooth this guy's feathers. Only then will I have a chance to get out of here. She quickly got up and walked to Chu Miu. Your Highness, Prince Ning, I urge you to recruit. Can I not stay in this place? Chu Miu looked down at her condescendingly. In the dim light of the prison cell, he can finally see what the person in front of him looks like. Jade eyebrows, skin like frost, indescribable charm. I have to admit, this woman is indeed stunningly beautiful.
Want to get out? Then, confess properly. And when I am happy, I will naturally let you go.
Your Highness, you are right. That box of gold is from selling smuggled salt. But that money is not mine. I just took a little handling fee. Just helping people deliver the goods there.
Looks like she hasn't suffered enough. To tell the truth. Someone, bring in the instruments of torture.
She knelt down, in front of Chu Miu again with a thud. Your Highness, spare me. Please spare me. Your Highness, However, Chu Miu ignored her wails and waved his hand. The subordinates stepped forward and lifted Ruantang. Then they deftly tied her to the rack.
Tell me, should my first cut be on this delicate face, or this graceful figure?
Ouch! 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 No wonder 如何年人看不出 City is afraid of her. This guy has no regard for beauty. Ouch! 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 Before Ruantang could beg for mercy again, Chu Miu turned the hand holding the dagger. Knife tip under soft candy's shoulder blade. Applying force. The sharp tip of the knife instantly pierced soft candy's skin and flesh. Blood gushed out instantly, staining her clothes red. Soft candy's originally rosy cheeks instantly turned pale white. It acid is all me! Damn it! Just say what you want and get it over with. Are you ever going to finish with that dull knife?
Really? Do you know what I hate most?
Chu Miu whispered in her ear.
What I hate most are people who talk nonsense. Tell me, who else is involved in selling smuggled salt? And who is the one watching? Besides these dealings,
Do you have any other shady businesses?
The group last night was well trained, not ordinary. And the woman before me is definitely not just helping others, earning a little hard-earned money, as she claims.
Your Highness, aren't you going too far?
I at least went through the engagement ceremony with you. As the saying goes, even a day as husband and wife is worth 100 days of affection.
You didn't 解释的机会 give a chance to explain, and just stabbed me. Aren't you going a bit too far?
In Chumil's eyes, she was playing dumb and acting pitiful. Chumil put more strength into the dagger in his hand. This time, Ruantang couldn't hold back.
Any longer. What the hell are you doing? Hurry up! Are you ever going to finish with that dull knife?
Soon, the dagger in Chumil's hand was completely plunged, buried in Ruantang's flesh.
Your Highness, I know. Don't stab me. I really can't take it anymore.
Who is collecting the salt?
Chumil listened, then asked the question again.
I really don't know that.
We only look at tokens for transactions.
And this is my first time. I don't know any of those people.
Chumil snorted coldly. He didn't say anything more. After a while, one of his men came in. He whispered something in his ear. Then he got up and left the prison.
Pull the knife out. Put some medicine on him. Don't let him die. Yes, Your Highness. Watch him closely.
Yes. Ruantang lay dying on the grass. Finally, as Ruantang was falling asleep, he developed a high fever. She fell into a coma. When Ruantang regained consciousness, she saw Chunhan's anxious little face.
Miss, you are finally awake. Chunhan was so scared.
Last night, Qingfang disregarded his young lady's safety and just ran off with her. Afterward, she scolded Qingfang. For a whole day and night, Chunhan's voice never stopped. She was about to be driven to death by the noise. So, as soon as it got dark, she set off to call for Ruantang. Almost half a month later, it is still the rented courtyard, still that side room. This time, Ruantang is sitting on the bed, waiting for Prince Ning. Qingfang was as rough as last time when he threw her onto the bed. She only spoke after Qingfeng left the room.
Hehe, Your Highness Prince Ning, we meet again. How have you been?
Chumil never would have imagined that a few months ago, he kindly let her go. He didn't expect this woman to be so bold, to kidnap him again. However, this time, Chumil didn't act like he did last time, directly question her, but instead chuckled.
Humph, it seems Ningwang
Is not afraid of being the bad guy.
A shameless woman like you. Is it surprising you do something like this? But I admire your courage. Daring to do it again and again. Aren't you afraid I'll really kill you?
afraid.
Ruantang laughed loudly, but her words were tinged with indifference
And anger. Hasn't Ningwang already stabbed me? With his knife. I am the kind of person who holds grudges and always gets revenge. What Prince Ning did to me, I will definitely return it. A wise man knows better than to fight when the odds are against him.
A dagger had appeared in Ruantang's hand.
At some point, tell me, should my first cut be on your delicate face, or 下一个猜，下一个哭了，睡。
Ruantang gripped the dagger tightly. Just as she was about to stab it forcefully into her flesh, Chumil suddenly reached out and grabbed her hand, then flipped her over. Ruantang was pinned beneath her. You! How could you? The tables have turned.
Ruantang looked horrified.
Do you want to ask how I neutralized?
The blood poison. Ruantang looked at him from a very close distance.
as if to say, yes, yes. Why is this happening?
This petty trick might work on me once. But you dare to try it again?
A wise man knows better than to fight when the odds are against him. A true hero knows when to yield. Ruantang immediately put on a smile. With an orchid finger gesture, he gently pinched the sharp blade. Sigh. Speechless. Your Highness. Why don't you put it away? I am no match for you anyway. I am just at your mercy. Why be so cold and heartless? Chu Miu looked at the woman who changed her face so quickly, and snorted inwardly.
But this woman is right. She is indeed no match for me.
The man flipped his hand over, and threw the dagger away. This is far more pleasurable than Ruantang's feast that night. Relieved by the absence of the dagger, Ruantang breathed a sigh of relief. He gave Chu Miu a charming smile. Then, with lightning speed, he swept his hand in front of him. But Chu Miu seemed to anticipate his actions. As soon as he raised it, blocking, Ruantang suddenly felt a rich fragrance filling his nose and mouth. In just a moment, his whole body went limp. Ruantang thought to himself that something was wrong. This was Lin Qing's latest knockout drops, and it contained aphrodisiacs. His whole body felt scorching, hot, as if burnt by fire. His consciousness also began to slowly dissipate. Ruantang, even more unconsciously. Hot, Chu Miu, who was still on top of him, suddenly felt his blood rushing. Ruantang took the initiative last time. Actually, Chu Miu didn't feel much pleasure, but after all, he had lost his virginity. Faced with this scene, it is impossible to say he wasn't tempted. Just as Chu Miu was stunned, Ruantang's hand held down one of his hands and pressed it against her cheek. Then she wrapped her arms around his chest. She hooked her neck around his, and their bodies drew closer together. Because his movements were even more closely pressed against her, his hand suddenly cupped Ruantang's cheek, and he blocked her mouth impolitely. That night, Chu Miu took the lead, and finally felt a sense of uninhibited pleasure. Compared to Ruantang's awkwardness that night, this was much more delightful. The candlelight in the room flickered, and Ruantang's voice rose and fell. He suddenly opened his eyes. Everything that happened last night began to flood back into his mind. A blush crept onto Ruantang's face.
Awake.
A sudden voice rang out, and Ruantang sat up abruptly. Turning his head, he saw Chu Miu lying lazily to the side, propping his head with one hand, and looking at him. Chu Miu, and he gasped. You! Why are you still here?
What? What do you want to do after you've been fed?
Chu Miu 整个人春风, and his words were tinged with a sense of playfulness. Last night, didn't you also get your fill? Why are you still here? You want to stab me in the back again? Let me tell you, I am not afraid of you. My guards are outside. If you dare to hurt me, he will definitely not let you go. Ruantang's words were righteous,
But lacked any force.
Oh, really? Then I shall see how your gods won't let me go.
but he quickly realized. What have you done to my man?
Your men are all fine. But if you don't listen, I can't guarantee what will happen to them. Ruantang? For sit down. Wonderful. I'll remember this. Get up and drink it.
Ruantang's eyes darted around. It is not that. This will kill with a stab. Are you planning to poison me to death?
Birth control tonic. Get up and drink it.
Birth control tonic. Contraceptive. I don't want it. What kind of weird joke is this? What kind of nonsense birth control tonic? 这样佛生的铅笔不是白谈了 Waste. Besides, I came here to get inoculated. Otherwise, why would I risk getting inoculated again? Holds grudges, hopes for offspring after revenge. He definitely wouldn't do this life-threatening.
Job again.
If you don't drink it, then I'll give you another choice. At your right shoulder, I'll give you another hole.
It is just a contraceptive decoction. Just drink it. At worst, I'll just stay away from this scumbag in the future. If that is the case, I can just find someone else to take over. He drank it all, bitterness spreading. He wore a mask of pain.
Name. Huh? Your name.
Chu Miu was not impatient, but looked at Ruan Tang with a hint of a smile in his eyes. Ruan Tang, tongue of soft candy. Ruan Tang reluctantly said his name. The smile in Chu Miu's eyes deepened.
Ruan Tang. A tough customer. Wonderful. I've remembered it.
You made your master crawl through a dog hole. Are you now Chu Miu finally left, but
Before leaving, he said, "Be good and stay here."
If you dare to escape, I'll break your legs.
Ruan Tang didn't realize anything until Chenghan came in to help him bathe and change. It wasn't until Chenghan said that the entire courtyard was guarded by Ning Wang's men that he realized he was being held under house arrest by Chu Miu. That is right. The scaredy cat, Qing Feng, returned an hour after Chu Miu left. Hurry up and find a way to get me out of here!
Isn't that why I came back? To rescue you. Don't worry. I've already found a way to escape.
As night fell, the three crept to a courtyard wall with bushes overgrown in the backyard. Ruan Tang looked up at the high courtyard wall, then turned to look at Qing Feng next to him. I am ready. Take me away.
No need to fly this time.
It is mainly because when we took care of Ning Wang during the inside job last night, something got on him. He can fly by himself now, but it would be difficult if he were to carry Ruan Tang and Chenghan. Huh? No flying. What does that mean? Qing Feng just gave him a standard A-tooth smile, and then put aside the grass next to the tall wall. Before long, a small hole appeared in the wall, big enough for one person to crawl through.
Here. This way.
Ruan Tang's expression changed from excitement to speechlessness. You want me, your master, to crawl through a door hole? Are you out?
That Ninking Sky poisoned me and sealed 70% of my power. I don't even know what that stuff is. Ling Qin hasn't come up with an antidote yet. So I probably can't fly with Master.
Is your illness a reason for you to make Master crawl through a dog hole? If you can't fly, why did you come back? I might as well go back to my room and sleep. Ruan Tang said, turning to go back.
Oh, I bet our master has taken a fancy to Prince Ning.
Ruan Tang stopped, turned around, and covered Qing Feng's mouth. Hey, how could you say something so unlucky? Be careful, or you'll be struck by lightning. A great woman knows when to yield. Admitting, it makes me a hero again. She looked back at Qing Feng. Are you sure if we go out from here, there won't be anyone blocking us outside? I'll go and keep watch for you. Qing Feng chuckled, tapped his foot, and jumped onto the wall. Checked perimeter. Spoke softly to Ruan Tang below.
Nobody's here. Hurry up and climb.
Ruan Tang didn't stand on ceremony and crouched down, but his entire upper body was out. Suddenly, his butt got stuck. Ruan Tang tried hard to move, but it still didn't work. Ruan Tang, hush. Okay, miss. Ruan Tang, Chenghan, following orders, pushed hard on his butt, but he still didn't budge. Miss, it is no good. I am stuck. Why don't you back out first? Helpless, Ruan Tang had no choice but to start, moving his body backward. Why does it feel like I can't move now either? Hey, Qing Feng, come down and help me. Qing Feng, I am so stuck. It hurts. Hey, 他话音刚落, when she finished, strong hands were offered to her. Ruan Tang quickly put his hands on it and gripped tightly in an instant. Pulling him out. As expected, it is Qing Feng. Ruan Tang got up from the ground and patted the dust off his clothes. He was just about to celebrate escaping with Qing Feng.
Ruan, why aren't you sleeping? What are you doing here?
Asking the obvious, you really are a dog. I want to. I like to. Is it any of your business? Your Highness, what brings you here? Ruentang was now fawning all over him. Who told him to be no match for this guy? And without even looking, Qing Feng, that dog
Must have run away long ago. Have you forgotten what I told you?
Ha! Dog? 什么话? Shu Miu raised his eyebrows and looked at Ruentang's legs.
Stay here, obediently. Dare to run. I'll break your dog legs.
Your Highness is so funny. Why would I want to escape? Impossible. Absolutely impossible. I just came out to stretch my muscles. Next second, he grabbed his collar and dragged him to the villa's main entrance. As soon as they entered, someone helped them close the door, and she was thrown onto the couch by Chu Miu. Before Ruentang could get up, Chu Miu leaned over her, trapping her entirely between the couch and his embrace. Chu Miu lowered his head, looking at the woman beneath him. He leaned down, wanting to capture those pink and tender lips, but when Ruentang realized his intention, she tilted her head, avoiding his lips.
Unwilling? Then why did you seduce me earlier?
When did I ever seduce him? Why am I? The person involved, completely unaware. I didn't. Your Highness, you are mistaken. Chu Miu's eyes darkened, but Ruentang's words of denial fell on his ears. He found them rather unpleasant.
No, if not, then why are you shaking your butt in front of me?
Shaking? But I was just... No, I was just stretching a little. I really didn't mean to seduce your Highness. Seeing Ruentang's dazed expression couldn't help but make Chu Miu feel physically and mentally pleased. He began to be unsatisfied with just sucking her lips. He raised his hand, pinched her chin, and gently lifted it. Then, holding her lips, he ordered vaguely, "Open your mouth." Chu Miu also felt Ruentang's resistance, looked down at her flushed cheeks, smile tugged at his lips, and temporarily withdrew.
Little Chuan. Breathe.
Ruentang's heaving chest brushed against Chu Miu intermittently. Chu Miu was somewhat fascinated by this taste. Subconsciously, he held her lips again. But this time, it seems she found a trick. Chu Miu also felt her change, and a smile welled up in his eyes.
Not too stupid after all.
She found a steaming basket of buns outside. The buns were still piping hot. She blew on it and took a big bite. Soon, she finished a big meat-filled bun. Then she picked up another one. But this time, she had just taken a bite. The dark kitchen became bright as day. A strong arm had already wrapped around her waist from behind.
Quite the complainer. Daring to break into the royal residence to steal food. Are you saying I should beat you to death or poison you to death?
Please, Your Highness. Lord Yama, have some self-respect, and let me go. Chu Miu's eyes turned cold. The aura around him also turned colder.
Self-respect. You are the one who seduced me. You broke into my manor at night. And Miss Zhuan wants me to have self-respect.
Ruentang was speechless. After a long silence, she compromised. Your Highness, I was wrong. I apologize for my past ignorance and fearlessness. You are a magnanimous man. Please don't hold it against a little woman like me. I know my place. I am not worthy of Your Highness. So please, Your Highness, let me go. Breaking into the prince's mansion. I wanted to take my people away. Didn't mean to antagonize you.
Oh? 是吗? Really? And setting fire to my mansion was unintentional as well.
That was definitely intentional. Ruentang was speechless again. Helpless, she stammered nervously.
I can compensate for the prince's mansion's losses.
You compensate? Do you think you can afford it? My mansion is full of rare treasures. You might not even be able to afford it if I sold you.
So what do you want? Why do you have to keep bothering me? In Chu Miu's eyes, she is just a plaything. But this plaything of his is no longer obedient.
Wouldn't it be better for him to find someone else? Why are you so fixated on me?
From the moment you chose this prince for breeding, you should have been prepared for this. I am not someone you can provoke so easily. Now that the game has begun, I am the only one who can decide when it ends.
It was my mistake to provoke you, Your Highness, but I have been at your service for so long. It should be paid off by now. How will you let me go, Your Highness? A man's mocking voice came from above.
Naturally, when I am tired of you.
As he spoke, Chu Miu's hands began to wander along Ruantang's waist. It has been half a month. She has become even more voluptuous. It seems she hasn't been by his side these days. Ruantang really did live a carefree life, but Ruantang was carefree, but he hasn't been able to sleep soundly these days. Her hands wield swords, kill enemies, not satisfy desires.
When will you draft it? I can't say for sure. Or, why don't you?
Come up with a solution for me? A familiar scent rushed over him. Ruantang lowered his eyes almost subconsciously. He didn't dare to look at him again, but still stubbornly clenched his teeth. Chu Miu couldn't help but tighten his grip on her waist.
You want to escape that badly?
Yes. I beg your highness to grant my wish. But Chu Miu laughed coldly.
Then I will refuse to redress your grievance.
Chu Miu flicked his sleeves and left. When he reached the kitchen door,
He ordered. Take her to the dungeon.
And watch her closely. Yes, Your Highness.
Ruantang was imprisoned once again. Ruantang, with a blank expression, allowed the guards to throw her in, until a voice sounded from the neighboring cell. Miss, is that really you? It is Cheng Han. After seeing that, it was really Ruantang. Cheng Han couldn't hold back her tears any longer, and they fell drop by drop. Instantly, the prison cell was filled with the sound of two people crying.
Can you stop crying?
Looking for death. 阮唐放开狗分寒抬头看过去. She saw Xiaofeng and Lin Qing clinging to the wooden pillars, looking at her intently from the opposite cell. And Qingfeng was lying on the side, looking like he had lost all hope in life. Chu Miu didn't send her the antidote. She found out the arrow was smeared not with bone corroding, but muscle weakening powder.
Something's wrong with the target. Something happened to Miss Ruantang.
Chu Miu has arrived at the dungeon. Chu Miu walked straight to Ruantang's side. He saw her back to the door, curled up on that dilapidated bed.
Trembling with fear. What is going on?
Chu Miu asked the guard on duty.
Seems like she ate something wrong. Ate something wrong.
As Chu Miu spoke, his eyes swept over the cells next to, and across from him, he saw that Cheng Han, Xiaofeng, and Lin Qing were all full of energy once they enter her dungeon. The food here is the same for everyone. No one is an exception.
Are you telling me that you are feeding her something different from the others?
The guard was immediately frightened, and knelt down hastily.
Your Highness, please forgive us.
Miss Ruan's food is indeed different.
Why is it different? Who gave you the right to act on your own? Nan, Commander. Nan did. Nan Feng?
Chu Miu snorted coldly, grinding his molars.
Tell him to get his ass over here now.
Yes, Your Highness.
Go and fetch the Imperial Physician. Chu Miu ordered.
Yes, Your Highness.
One of them quickly pushed his way out, and was about to run outside, but a voice stopped them.
No need to call the royal physician. I can take a look.
It is Lin Qing. Chu Miu glanced at him coldly, not immediately agreeing. Your Highness, please, let Lin Qing see the young lady, Cheng Han said, urgently. Chu Miu glanced at Cheng Han, before speaking to the guard from earlier.
Open the door and let him in. As soon as the door opened, Lin Qing hurried
towards the prison cell. When he reached the dilapidated bed, he stopped. He placed Ruantang's hand on leg. Before taking pulse, Chu Miu, who was standing nearby, watched his movements, and seeing Ruantang's hand resting like that on Lin Qing's leg, he actually found Lin Qing's leg, and that hand incredibly alluring. Chu Miu even wanted to suck on that leg, but he managed to restrain himself. Soon, Lin Qing finished taking her pulse.
Master has contracted corpse poison, eating something she shouldn't have caused. Laryngeal edema and body swelling. Fortunately, the symptoms are not too severe. By taking medication, on time, can be relieved. She still has a high fever,
and needs to reduce it as soon as possible. I told you to bow your head to me earlier. Why suffer here? What medicine is needed?
Prescribe all of them. The guard who went to find Nanfeng has returned. Nanfeng followed behind, his face pale.
What is the matter with the gummy candies?
Nanfeng inwardly wailed. He meant well, but he didn't expect his good intentions to backfire. He stammered,
told Chu Miu the story, and begged forgiveness. Lin Qing, who was beside him, heard his words.
And understood. The cause of this corpse poisoning should be
This beef, or shrimp. Nanfeng was stunned by Lin Qing's words. He didn't know that eating meat could also cause poisoning. He only knew that this meat was expensive. Since it is expensive, then it must be good. Chu Miu glanced at Nanfeng coldly, and then said, Go and receive your punishment.
Yes, Your Highness.
Chu Miu then walked to the bedside, bent down and picked up Ruan Tang from the dilapidated bed, and then left the dungeon, and went to Kangling Courtyard. Chu Miu put her on the bed, and then sat by the bed.
Snorting, he looked at her, and said, If you'd begged,
You wouldn't have suffered so much. I don't know what he is thinking. Besides not being able to give him a title, even after treating her so badly, she still wants to escape.
Only now did he realize she was no longer in that dark dungeon. The surroundings looked familiar. It was the room she used to live in at Kangling Courtyard. How am I here? Ruan Tang couldn't hide her guard against Chu Miu. Chu Miu looked at the expression on Ruan Tang's face, sometimes frowning, sometimes glaring. Who knows what was going on in his mind? He picked up the medicine and handed it to her.
Come here, drink it.
You. She had just dreamed that Chu Miu was ravaging her again. No matter how she begged for mercy, Chu Miu still went his own way, pinning her firmly on the bed. She thought to herself, Come here.
I need to personally feed you. She moved over reluctantly.
Took the bowl from Chu Miu's hand, and drank the medicine. After drinking it, she realized the taste of this medicine seemed different from before. You changed the medicine.
So, what kind of medicine do you think this is?
She didn't answer, and continued to cower in the corner.
So you thought this was a contraceptive decoction?
Seeing she didn't answer, Chu Miu answered for her. Then, he chuckled, and leaned closer to Ruan Tang.
Little Ruan Tang, so you miss me too, huh?
After Ruan Tang's breathing calmed down, Chu Miu helped her up, and then carried her up in his arms. Ruan Tang exclaimed and tried to struggle. Chu Miu suddenly looked down and warned.
Don't move. Waiting for your body temperature to cool down.
Then, Ruan Tang was carried by Chu Miu into the quiet room next door. Chu Miu didn't even take off his clothes. He carried Ruan Tang straight into the hot spring pool. In this position, Ruan Tang knew very well what was coming next. The man seemed to see through
Ruan Tang's thoughts, and said, Don't worry, I am not a beast.
If you behave yourself, I won't force you.
Then please let me go, Your Highness. I can soak by myself.
I don't need to trouble you, Your Highness. I am willing.
You should feel doubly fortunate. Chu Miu didn't let go,
but instead held her tighter. Chu Miu leaned against the edge of the pool, holding Ruan Tang as she leaned against him. Leaning against Chu Miu and soaking in the hot spring, Ruan Tang felt extremely comfortable. Unexpectedly, she fell asleep in comfort. That night was the most peaceful sleep. Ruan Tang had since the sword wound. So the next day, when she woke up just as dawn was breaking.
Do you feel any better? Yes, much better. Thank you for your concern, Your Highness.
Ruan Tang's words were polite and distant. She was different from the arrogant and cunning woman. Chu Miu knew. He didn't like this kind of Ruan Tang. A guard suddenly came in to report.
Your Highness, the second young master of the Duke's mansion, and the Earl's mansion, young masters and ladies have arrived again.
Hearing the report, Chu Miu frowned. An impatient look also appeared on his face.
Tell them that I am not available today,
and will not receive guests.
The guard who came to report didn't leave.
He said, The old madam of Jing and Marquis' mansion has also
arrived. Please ask them to go to the reception hall.
I will be there later. The guard obeyed the order,
and quickly left Kangling Courtyard. I have some official business to attend to.
I'll have someone prepare breakfast for you later. I won't be able to eat with you.
Hearing about the marquisate, Ruan Tang became fully alert. When she heard about the Jing and Marquis' mansion, she immediately understood what was happening. She sat obediently at the round table in the outer room, and soon after, a maid came in with food. After the two maids had arranged the dishes, just as they were about to leave, Ruan Tang stopped one of them, who looked more honest. You stay and serve me. My maid is still being held by His Highness. The two maids looked at each other, with hesitation on their faces, but they also knew that this woman could live in His Highness's room, was no simple character. After hesitating again and again, the maid who was named nodded and stayed. When she had eaten almost enough, she then said to the maid, Get me a bowl of soup. The maid obeyed the order. Respectfully, he ladled a bowl of soup, and handed it to Ruan Tang. And when Ruan Tang took the bowl of soup, his hand suddenly slipped, and the bowl of soup spilled directly all over Ruan Tang. It wasn't intentional. It is all right. Get up. Serve me while I bathe and change clothes. Then he opened his arms to the maid, signaling her to help him undress. The maid understood. He quickly bent forward, and began helping Ruan Tang untie his clothes. Meanwhile, Ruan Tang kept his eyes lowered, watching her, His gaze fell on the exposed back of her neck, and he struck quickly. The maid quickly collapsed to the ground. After finishing everything, he picked up the food box and left the room. All the way, he kept his head down and hurried towards the outside of Kanglan Courtyard. If Seichin's guess was right, the guard from Kanglan Courtyard mentioned the Jin Marquis mansion. Old lady. According to the original owner of Fragmented Memories, this old lady was his grandmother. Ruan Tang, filled with doubt, quickly arrived at the reception hall.
Your Highness, I apologize for disturbing your residence today. I wish to take my granddaughter home. I hope your Highness will grant my request.
You flatter me, old madam. If I could grant it, why wouldn't I? However, the old madam's granddaughter is not in this prince's residence. You must be mistaken. Don't listen to the rumors.
Your Highness, Prince Ning, please don't joke with us. How could a Tang not be in your residence? If a Tang has done something wrong to offend you, please tell us. We will apologize on her behalf.
Chu Miu chuckled and glanced at Shen Qingxi, but he didn't respond to her. He didn't even spare her a second glance.
An old person in their advanced years just wants to be surrounded by their children and grandchildren. That child, a Tang, has been away from home.
For many years,
We thought she was no longer alive.
Now that we know she's still alive, no matter what, this old one cannot allow her to continue wandering outside. Otherwise, how can I face her deceased mother?
Madame Ruan cried with heartfelt sincerity. If Ruan Tang didn't know the original owner's background, seeing Madame Ruan's remarkable behavior, one would undoubtedly be deeply moved. But it just so happened that he had only recently inherited the original owner's memories. But Chu Miu was not moved by Madame Ruan's crying.
in the slightest. I have already stated that. The granddaughter you seek, madam, is not in my residence.
Meanwhile, seeing that Chu Miu had not admitted, Ruan Tang was here. She couldn't help but feel doubtful. Just as Madame Ruan was about to bid farewell to Chu Miu.
Grandmother! A Tang is unfilial!
Humph! 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 Madame Ruan was shaken for a moment, before she barely regained her senses. Then, she bent down, and picked up the paper from the ground. The two immediately hugged each other, and wept bitterly. This scene brought tears to Ye Xinyu's eyes, and darkened Chu Miu's face. But only Ruan Tang and Madame Ruan knew. They were both acting. I heard you were injured recently.
Are you feeling better?
Yes, I am much better. Grandmother. Oscar, you owe me and Grandpa Ruan a little golden man.
It is good that you are well. Away from home so long, you must have suffered.
Grandmother, I won't cry. These years, I left home without permission. Naturally, I have no face to see you and father.
I didn't realize this female body liked this so much.
Whether it is now, or when I was facing him in Kanglan Courtyard.
Just now. No wonder she was so well behaved just now. So, that is where she has been aiming. Does she really think that apart from this, Prince Ning's mansion, how could she possibly escape? That is utterly wishful thinking.
Silly child. No matter what, home is always home. Listen to your grandmother.
Come home with me today. Grandmother? Ruan Tang looked troubled, then looked at Chu Miu on the high seat, and the man above was now looking at Tang.
With a sinister gaze, Your Highness, please grant my request, and allow this old woman to take her granddaughter home.
Chu Miu did not answer, his gaze still fixed on Ruan Tang. Grandmother, you've misunderstood. Your Highness wasn't stopping me from leaving. Actually, I am in the prince's manor. But your Highness doesn't know. If I hadn't been on duty here today, and seeing grandmother, overcome with emotion, I ran out. I beg your Highness's forgiveness. And at this moment,
Madame Ruan appropriately
glanced at Ruan Tang's clothes and appearance, which were a maid's. It is normal for Prince Ning not to know about a maid in the manor. No wonder Prince Ning said Ruan Tang wasn't in the manor. He probably didn't know. It was truly inappropriate of me to hide my identity and work in the prince's manor. If word gets out, I fear it will damage your Highness's reputation. After consideration, my granddaughter will return, not troubling your Highness.
Your Highness, this granddaughter of mine is ignorant and ill-mannered. We have disturbed you for a long time in your residence. Please forgive us. Your Highness, allow me to take her back and teach her properly. I will visit another day to apologize on her behalf.
Chu Miu snorted coldly.
Madam, your granddaughter is truly unique. Refusing to be a proper young lady of the Jing Marquis mansion, of the mansion. Instead, she comes to my manor to be a servant. Could she have ulterior motives?
The phrase, ulterior motives, frightened the old Madame Ruan into a sweat. She quickly spoke up to explain.
How could that be? Oh dear, this girl is just a bit stubborn. Years ago, fought with her father, left home angry, and has been gone since. Coming to the prince's mansion was a mere coincidence. How could she have intentions?
I hope your Highness can see clearly. If Chu Miu accuses Ruan Tang, it implicates the Jing'an Marquis mansion. Fortunately, after old Madame Ruan explained, Chu Miu smiled.
I was just joking. Please don't take it to heart, old madam. This servant is not under my jurisdiction. My steward needs to come over to see how many years are left on her indentured contract, so we can settle the account. I am sure old madam knows that.
I have always been upright and honest. Every expenditure in the manor must be clear and transparent, to prevent petty people from making an issue out of it. Soon, Nanfang was called in. Tell me, how many years is Miss Ruan's indentured contract for? And how much money did you use to buy her indentured contract?
Nanfeng looked confused again.
Why doesn't my prince tell me before he starts acting every time? At least give me some time to rehearse. I am going crazy with these surprise attacks. Every time!
But this time he learned from the last lesson. He knows his prince is reluctant to part with Miss Ruan. So, the longer the term of the indentured contract, the more expensive it is to buy, the more it suits his master's wishes.
Ahem, Miss Ruan signed a 20-year indentured contract. I bought her.
Indenture for 3,000 taels, as expected. Zhu didn't give him a cold shoulder like last time. There was even a hint of a smile on his lips. Meanwhile, Ruantang glared at Nanfeng, wishing she could bore a hole through him with her eyes.
Someone's more audacious.
It is obvious. Like master. Like dog. But Ruantang didn't dare to retort, because she started the lying first.
Since that is the case, then I'll have to trouble the old madam and the housekeeper with your driver's licenses, and take your granddaughter away again. Upon hearing this,
The old Madame Ruan lost her composure. 3,000 taels isn't much for a marquis estate, but for the Jing'an marquis estate, which looks strong, but is actually hollowed out, that is a huge sum of money. Shunyu saw the worshipful expressions on everyone's faces. Shunyu saw it all, and couldn't help but feel a surge of pleasure in his heart, just as he was about to ask Nanfeng to see the guests out. Your Highness, is it true that you gave them those 3,000 taels? Then I can leave Ningwang's mansion. Shunyu's lips, which had been curved into a smile, suddenly tightened. The look in his eyes as he looked at Ruantang was deep and unfathomable, as cold as a star.
he gritted his teeth and said, naturally, my word is my bond. Then your highness must keep your word.
I saw him sitting on the ground, and then he took off the embroidered shoe on his right foot. From the moment Ruantang sat on the ground and took off his shoes, Chunyu's expression became even more unsightly. He knew that Ruantang had a perverse personality and wasn't as reserved as traditional women. But unexpectedly, he's so open, daring to take off his shoes in public. If it weren't for the fact that Ruantang was still wearing socks, Chunyu would have dragged him back to the Tibetan Mastiff Yard for a good lesson. When everyone saw Ruantang, he took several silver notes from his shoe, leaving everyone stunned. Butler, this is 5,000 taels. 3,000 taels is to redeem myself. The remaining 2,000 taels, the 4 brothers and sisters who came with me. To redeem. See if that is enough. Nanfeng tremblingly took the silver bill. She looked at Chu Mu somewhat helplessly. And Chu Mu at this moment, his expression was extremely unpleasant.
I really didn't expect this woman to still be hiding money. I really underestimated her. She really raised a lot of ingrates.
Miss Ruan, your calculation is a bit too lenient. 3,000 taels for one person.
2,000 taels to redeem 4 people.
Are you taking me for a fool?
Ruantang wished she could go up and slap him in the face. These 5,000 taels are all for nothing. What else does he want? Clearly, there's no indentured contract. Isn't he just making it up? A wise man doesn't fight against the odds. Steward, return 2,000 taels to me. Nanfeng squeezed the silver note in his hand and looked at Chu Mu. But before Chu Mu could speak, Ruantang directly reached out and took 2 silver notes from his hand and also gave him a look of disdain. What a spineless man! He sees everything and does things on his own authority. After Ruantang took the money, Your Highness. What about me? Just talk about myself. Let those siblings serve Your Highness for a few more days. Grandmother, let's go. The old Madame Ruan hasn't come back to her senses yet. It is not easy for her dignified Jing'an, Marquis manner, to come up with 3,000 taels of silver. But her granddaughter took out 5,000 taels of silver, without batting an eye.
So, the valuable things in that dowry. Back then, did she really take them all? Grandmother.
Ruantang saw the vacant look on the old Madame Ruan's face, and couldn't help but call out to her again. Only then did the old Madame Ruan barely regain her senses. Your Highness, then I shall take my leave. It wasn't until Ruantang was the last to step into the ancestral hall that the old Madame Ruan spoke. Ruantang, kneel down. Ruantang was stunned for a while, not moving. Grandmother told you to kneel, didn't you hear? Seeing Ruantang standing there blankly, Ruan Changguan, who was beside her, couldn't help but scold her. Ruantang glanced at her, before kneeling reluctantly on the prayer mat.
Do you know why I am making you kneel?
Madame Ruan asked Ruantang. Ruantang shook her head, feigning ignorance. But how could she not know? Isn't it just to give me a dressing down? To make her obedient in the Jing'an Marquis manner, from now on, and listen to her so she can manipulate her? But Ruantang is not a pushover. She won't let them manipulate her. But for now, she needs to wait and see, and not reveal her hand too quickly.
Dian Zhang, your father left in a pique, and hasn't returned home for years, disregarding the Jing'an Marquis manner, reputation. This is his second offense. He entered Ningwang's mansion without permission, signed an indentured contract, committing his 3rd offense, whichever one it is. Even if your grandmother beats you to death today before the ancestors, they wouldn't blame me either.
If your father wasn't being unreasonable, why would I bother with him?
Considering your past ignorance, I'll punish you to kneel for 2 hours. After you have knelt long enough, come and find your grandmother again.
Yes, grandmother. A quarter of an hour later, Ruan Changguan returned. Still a dull blockhead, an eyesore to look at. Ruantang curled her lips, still kneeling upright, ignoring her. glancing at her. Always being pampered, the spoiled Ruan Changquan could tolerate being ignored like this. Suddenly, exasperated, from the table where the memorial tablets were placed, she grabbed a ruler. Then, pointing at Ruan Tang, she said, "Hold out your hand. What are you doing, sister? Do you want to overstep your bounds and discipline your older sister?" Ruan Tang raised an eyebrow and said provocatively, "That is just how meddlesome Ruan Changquan is, taking advantage of the original owner. In this ancestral hall, he was acting tyrannically. She came up and humiliated her. Then she hit her with a ruler, claiming it was old Madame Ruan's instruction. Older sister? I don't have an older sister. How could someone like you be an older sister?" Ruan Tang wouldn't let her run wild. Just as Ruan Changquan's hand was about to swing down, Ruan Tang directly pinched the shaman acupoint on her wrist. Ruan Tang used a bit too much force. Ruan Changquan cried out in pain and released her hand. The ruler fell from her hand. Ruan Tang caught it, gripped it, and struck Ruan Changquan's thigh. Ruan Tang didn't give her any chance to react. She landed a few more blows on her waist and buttocks. Ruan Changquan wailed in pain. Then she shoved the ruler back into her hand. Ruan Tang then stood up herself and kowtowed her head directly against the corner of the offering table. Ruan Tang controlled the force just right, enough to break the skin and draw blood, but not seriously injured. But as long as it bleeds, that is enough. That is the effect she wanted. Then Ruan Tang raised her head to look at Ruan Changquan, gave her a provocative wink, and then fell directly to the ground.
Just you wait. When I get tough, even I am scared of myself.
Ruan Changquan was completely dumbfounded by Ruan Tang's series of actions. Before she could react, a mass of footsteps came from outside the ancestral hall. Soon, people rushed outside the ancestral hall after hearing the noise, gathering in significant numbers. Except old Madame Ruan and Fang Huaru, the other ladies of the manor,
Also came after hearing the noise. Oh my, what a lively scene. It seems quite a few people
have come to watch the spectacle of my return. Ruan Changquan saw them enter, felt aggrieved, dropped the ruler, and threw herself into old Madame Ruan's arms. Then she sobbed softly.
Grandmother!
What is going on here? Ruan Tang got up, then knelt on the cushion. Without a word, old Madame Ruan poked her back with her finger, her face gloomy, and walked to the front of where Ruan Tang was kneeling. Just as she was about to scold Ruan Tang suddenly looked up at her, seeing the blood flowing down Ruan Tang's forehead. The old Madame Ruan swallowed the rebuke that was on the tip of her tongue.
What on earth is going on with you and your sister? How did you end up in such a state? The old Madame Ruan saw Ruan Tang crying uncontrollably. Tonger, tell me, what exactly is going on?
Grandmother, she hit me with a sword. Grandmother, I didn't hit third sister.
Ruan Tang sobbed, hesitating to speak. Plus, the way she looks now, her face covered in blood, and tears streaming down, compared to Ruan Tang. Ruan Changquan looked perfectly fine, fully dressed. There wasn't a single mark on her face.
Tell me, where did your sister hit you? Let grandmother see.
And Ruan Changquan, hearing the old Madame Ruan say this, hurriedly went to roll up her sleeves. But sleeves rolled up. Her skin was fair, without a single red mark.
I was clearly hit several times by this vixen.
How can this be? At this moment, the old Madame Ruan's face is very unpleasant.
Grandmother, she really hit me. I am still in pain now.
Humph. Old Madame Ruan was a little disappointed with Ruan Changquan. So she turned to look at Ruan Tang.
Did sure cause these injuries on you?
But before Ruan Tang could speak, Ruan Changquan became anxious and said, "No."
Grandmother, the injuries I didn't cause. She deliberately bumped into the offering table herself. She just wants you all to believe her.
And put the blame on me. Tonger, is that how it is?
The old Madame Ruan seemed to be asking, but her tone was more like questioning.
Grandmother, I dare not say.
Ruan Changquan, seeing Ruan Tang acting so realistically, I was so angry.
Grandmother, this villain is putting on an act.
She is deliberately misleading you. Shut up! Enough.
Grandmother, it is all Tanger's fault. It is Tanger who didn't set a good example for her younger sister. Grandmother, please punish Tanger.
Compared to Ruan Changquan, Ruan Tang's reasonableness is obvious. It is immediately clear and unmistakable. Ruan Changquan didn't expect Ruan Tang to voluntarily ask for punishment. She immediately snorted coldly and raised her chin high.
Grandmother, look. She is admitted it. She did it all. It has nothing to do with sewer. Grandmother, please punish her quickly. Letting her kneel for 2 hours is too lenient. She should be made to kneel all night.
Ruan Changquan is simple-minded and can't see through intricacies. But Fang Huaru 最不是. She saw it long ago. Ruan Tang's tactic of feigning retreat is quite ruthless. If Changhuan doesn't admit her mistake tonight, then tomorrow Changhuan's bad reputation will spread throughout the entire capital, and she'll be labeled as vicious right now. I am afraid it will greatly affect her marriage prospects.
The old madam is considering Chang Huan to be the Princess Ning. She can't let this dull blockhead ruin her daughter's reputation.
Mother, I believe the two children accidentally went too far. Huaner is also at fault. Why don't we punish her to kneel in the ancestral hall for an hour as well?
I am not I don't want to kneel. But Fan Huaru suddenly turned stern towards Ruan Changhuan.
Changhuan, don't be temperamental. Apologize to your sister and properly kneel here for another hour.
Oh no, the eldest daughter has fainted. Ruan Tang is just faking it. I almost opened my eyes from Aunt Liu's loud voice.
Granny, Liu, take Miss back to Begonia Courtyard,
And sent for the physician, who had been carried back to Begonia Courtyard. Ruan Tang was soon settled on the bed. The next day, it was only the 5th watch. Ruan Tang was awakened from her bed by Liang Xiang. Miss, it is time to go. And pay your respects to the old madam. Ugh, these ancient people are so annoying. This whole waking up to pay respects thing, who on earth invented it? Entering the hall, I saw old Madame Ruan in the seat of honor, while Ruan Changhuan was sitting beside her. Tang Ergejun's grandmother.
No need to stand on ceremony. Sit down.
Old Madame Ruan pointed to a seat opposite Ruan Changhuan, signaling Ruan Tang to sit. Tanger, how did you
Enter the Ning Prince's mansion back then.
Replying to grandmother, after leaving home, I went to Suzhou. I stayed there for a few years. And later, I missed home. So I thought about returning to Shangjing. I encountered traffickers who captured me and sold me to Ning Prince's mansion.
How long were you in Prince Ning's residence? Have you ever met Prince Ning before?
For over a month, I worked in the kitchen. I didn't have the chance to meet Prince Ning. Now that you are back,
Then your marriage should be on the agenda.
Ruan Tang panicked upon hearing this. She didn't come back to get married. Grandmother, Tanger doesn't want to get married yet. I just got home. I want to spend more time with you, Grandma.
Silly child. When a man grows up, he should marry. And when a woman grows up, she should marry. You'll be 20 after your birthday this year. 我看千一定still cares about you a lot. Besides, you two were previously engaged. Now that you are back, let's settle this marriage.
Ruan Tang didn't expect she still couldn't escape the engagement with Shen Qianyi, but she couldn't possibly be foolish enough to marry Shen Qianyi again. However, Ruan Tang still responded with a smile on her face. Tanger will listen to Grandma. Grandma will decide everything. Ruan Changhuan likes Shen Qianyi. Over the years, she thought Ruan Tang was gone, thinking that after she comes of age, she could get Grandma and Mother, Shen Qianyi and Ruan Tang's marriage agreement to change to herself and Shen Qianyi. But who would have thought that her grandmother actually wanted her to marry Prince Ning? Grandma will take her to the Empress Dowager's birthday banquet. Which well-educated family in the capital doesn't know the Empress Dowager's birthday banquet actually a pre-celebration? In reality, it is for selecting a consort for Prince Ning. Actually, 我才不写不完费. Cooperate with becoming his consort. That Prince Ning is tyrannical and cruel, and rumored to be extremely ferocious. I don't like him at all.
In a few days, the Empress Dowager's birthday. Why don't you and Shu attend together? Qian Yi will also be attending. Meet her and cultivate some feelings.
Okay, 好的，祖母。Ruan Tang and Ruan Changhuan left Fushan Garden. Ruan Changhuan grabbed Ruan Tang's arm. Are you really going to marry Shen Qianyi? My dear sister, this doesn't seem to concern you, does it? Anyway, you are not allowed to marry her. Ruan Tang chuckled, with a probing look on Ruan Changhuan's face. She seems to have discovered something. The relaxed, tall person of Shen Qianyi is indeed the original owner's sister, but not Ruan Changhuan, but Ruan Qingluan, her other sister. They rode in the most luxurious carriage of Jing'an Marquis' mansion and grandly headed to the Imperial Lodge, where the Grand Empress Dowager resided. Old Madame Ruan led Ruan Tang and Ruan Changhuan into the main hall and found their seats. After all the seats were filled, soon, a sharp voice announced,
The Grand Empress Dowager has arrived.
Everyone rose, prostrated, and knelt. Greetings, Grand Empress Dowager. May the Grand Empress Dowager have 10,000 blessings and everlasting peace. Accompanied by everyone's kowtowing, the Empress Dowager walked out. From the inner hall, she sat on the throne and said, Everyone rise. Thank you, Empress Dowager. Oh my god! No wonder Chu Miu is so good looking. With such a beautiful mother and such strong genes, how could he not be handsome? Sitting at the head of the hall, the Empress Dowager looked around at those below. Then she nodded with great satisfaction. All the famous noble ladies of the capital are here. She doesn't believe her son can find one he is satisfied with. Now, the Empress Dowager's request is very simple. As long as Zhou takes a fancy to someone, she will be brought into the manor, regardless of her status.
Today is my birthday banquet. Everyone, eat and drink well. Don't stand on ceremony.
Soon, the palace servants began to serve the dishes. The banquet officially began. During the banquet, the Empress Dowager called out the names of several people, several families, officials. Seeing the young ladies they brought along, each of them looked beautiful and delightful, making her smile from ear to ear. Soon, the Empress Dowager's gaze fell on the table of Jing'an Marquis' mansion. The Empress Dowager was very satisfied, and said frankly,
Jing'an Marquis' mansion is indeed a place that brings forth outstanding talents. Even the adopted daughters are so radiant.
As for Ruan, when old Madame Ruan pushed Ruan Changguan forward, she hid behind them, lowered her head and said nothing. But her eyes were bloodshot.
The Empress Dowager was amazed. If my Muir saw this beautiful woman, I am afraid he wouldn't be able to control himself.
You are called Ruan Tong. Can you come over here and let me have a look?
The Empress Dowager directly pointed her out. Old Madame Ruan's heart skipped a beat. Her expression changed slightly, but she had seen the world after all, and kept her composure. She turned her head and nodded to Ruan Tong, signaling her to come forward. She hesitated, but still took a few steps forward. She bowed to the Grand Empress Dowager. This humble subject greets
the Grand Empress Dowager. No need for formalities. Raise your head and let me see.
How old are you this year? Even if Ruan Tong were foolish, she would know the Grand Empress Dowager's purpose in asking this. She looked at old Madame Ruan
and Ruan Changguan for help. Grand Empress Dowager, please forgive me. Eldest granddaughter is married and not worthy of the Grand Empress Dowager's concern.
Upon hearing this, the Grand Empress Dowager immediately revealed a look of regret. She found someone Mirror might like, but she was already married.
Then, may I know which family son she's betrothed to?
Just as old Mrs. Ruan was about to speak, who had been sitting and watching the excitement, Shen Qianni suddenly stood up, bowed to the Grand Empress Dowager and said, reporting to the Grand Empress Dowager.
It is this humble official who is betrothed to a Tang.
The Grand Empress Dowager looked over. Oh, so
it is the heir of the Duke Zhengguo's mansion. Well, a handsome man and a beautiful woman. A good match indeed.
I am going to the restroom. If grandmother looks for me, please explain everything for me. Ruan Tang nodded and mumbled an agreement. Not long after Ruan Changguan left, Ruan Tang noticed that Shen Qianni 离开了. Ruan Changguan is really rushing to offer someone a kill. Is Shen Qianni really that appealing? She is risking danger. To secretly meet him with Ning's help, Ruan Tang finally couldn't help but get up. Ruan Tang searched for a while, but couldn't find Ruan Changguan anywhere. Just as she was about to give up, she suddenly saw a figure near the rockery not far away, moving. Soon, she heard Ruan Changguan's voice, filled with sobs.
Bitch! Brother, Yi, what do you mean? Didn't you say you would marry me? Why did you just admit to the marriage with that blockhead, Ruan Tong? Are you lying to me? Don't you want me anymore?
Hui, how could that be? How could I not want Huaner? Huanja is my favorite. What I did just now, merely a delaying tactic. You also know about us. Your grandmother doesn't approve. If I don't deny the marriage with Ruan Tong now, then I'll have even less chance to go to Jing'an Marquis' mansion to see you in the future. The marriage with her is just a facade. It is just my reason to see you. But when things actually mature, I will definitely change the marriage with her. To you.
Really? Brother Yi?
Of course.
When has Brother Yi ever lied to you?
Brother Yi.
As Ruan Changguan's melodious brother Yi faded, silence followed. Just as Ruan Tong was puzzled, the sound of saliva suddenly came. Ruan Tong instantly froze. Her face is also red.
Brother Yi, don't be afraid. I am scared. Wow. Oh.
Hey, Huaner, don't be afraid. Brother is just touching, not doing anything else.
Just as Ruan Tong was about to go out and stop them, she was suddenly gagged and dragged into the nearby rockery. Before Ruan Tong could struggle, a shout came from outside. Who is over there? Ruan Tong was on edge, pressing herself tightly against the rockery. Then, in the moonlight, she saw who was holding her hostage. He really is a persistent ghost.
Why do I run into him everywhere I go? Who is there?
Come out now. Choo! Don't move!
Guards are patrolling. Be good if you don't want to be seen.
Did you send for these guards? Chu Miu raised his eyebrows slightly. His smile deepened.
You finally brought my son back, having gained her freedom.
Ruan Tong
didn't even glance at Chu Mu. She ran away from here and returned to the banquet. Soon after, a sharp,
drawn-out voice of a eunuch was heard. His Royal Highness Prince Ning has arrived.
As the long voice faded, Chu Miu appeared in everyone's sight. He was seen walking gracefully from the entrance of the main hall. His slender body stood upright. His whole being was handsome
and noble with an innate grace. Your son greets the Empress Dowager and wishes her a happy birthday and a long life.
Soon, Chu Miu sat in the seat next to the Empress Dowager. Only when she glanced at Chu Miu did she notice that his gaze was fixed on something. The Empress Dowager followed his gaze and noticed Ruan Tong again. She couldn't help but sigh softly.
Like mother, like son, the people they fancy are the same.
Mirror, do you also?
Fancy that eldest daughter of the Ruan family?
Observing Ruantang, Chu Mu was stunned by the Empress Dowager's words.
Then he looked at her in confusion. What are you implying, Empress Dowager?
The Empress Dowager chuckled.
No one knows a son like his mother. And your thoughts are written all over your face. How could I not see it?
This is the first time she has seen her son.
Interested in a woman. I quite like that Miss Ran too. She is beautiful, and her name is lovely. When I first saw her, I felt an instant connection.
It is just a pity. What is a pity?
Pity she is engaged. Otherwise, I'd issue an imperial decree to bring her into your residence, to be your princess consort.
Princess consort. Chu Mu rubbed the blood jade ring on his thumb. Ruantang's status used to be humble. She wasn't even qualified to be his concubine. Now that Ruantang is Jing'an Marquis Mansion's daughter, she is qualified. Chu Mu smiled. His gaze towards Ruantang became radiant.
So what if she is engaged? Isn't she still unmarried? Even if she is married today, I want her.
Don't act rashly. Before Chu Mu could finish speaking,
the Empress Dowager reprimanded him.
What is your status now?
If you forcibly seize a subject's wife.
Do we, Great Zhou, still have any face?
Don't be muddle-headed. The banquet gradually reached its climax, taking advantage of the lively atmosphere. Shen Qianni also came to Ruantang's table.
Aunt, may I take my elder cousin for a walk?
Go on! You two should catch up!
It is already. Ruantang, already a little drunk, was muddle-headed. Then, Shen Qianni pulled her up from her seat. Ruan Changuan, who was beside them, almost lost his cool, and flipped out. Just now at the rockery, Shen Qianni said. For the sake of her reputation, she actually abandoned him and ran. If he hadn't come out quickly, the guards would have drawn their swords and charged in. Meanwhile, the person at the head of the table, upon seeing Shen, Qianni reached out to Ruantang and hold her small hand. His dark eyes were filled with such rage, he wanted to slice Shen Qianyi. He is really asking for it. The Empress Dowager also noticed Chu Mu's unusual behavior. Don't act rashly. Her son is really quite willful sometimes. She really can't do anything about that.
Mother, don't worry. I know what I am doing.
However, the Empress Dowager didn't believe him.
Don't think you can fool me. I know what you are like.
She glared at him and continued.
I think that girl is a good one. Don't ruin a good girl.
Because of your selfish desires. Before the Empress Dowager could finish, Chu Mu chuckled.
How good, girl. Chu Mu murmured. If you knew, that woman doesn't know the immensity of heaven. Kidnapped her son to bed, ruining his innocence. Would she still think she is a good girl?
Chu Mu ignored the Empress Dowager's dissuasion, and got up directly, and walked towards the lower seat. Ruantang drank a lot of fruit wine, and became tipsy. Her mind became muddled. She thought it was Xiazhu, and followed until they walked a distance. When she saw clearly, the person holding her hand was Shen Qianni. Ruantang, with a look of fear, shook off her hand. I don't feel well. I want to go back. But how could Shen Qianni let her go?
To have such a beauty submit to me. How wonderful would that be? And when I am tired of her, I can use her to win over the powerful and wealthy. It would only benefit my business.
Shen Qianni thought to herself, a wicked smile spreading across her face. She didn't care about anything else, and ran as fast as she could, but because she had been drinking, she stumbled as she ran. Soon, footsteps came from behind. She knew Shen Qianni was catching up. Seeing figures moving by the lake, Ruantang didn't care about anything else, and ran towards that place. But as Ruantang got closer to the figure, she saw clearly who it was. That scoundrel, Chu Mu. But Ruantang had only managed to run a few steps when a force grabbed her wrist. Suddenly, the world spun around. She was lifted into the air. Ruantang screamed instinctively in fright. Her hands flailed wildly at the person holding her.
Lazy thing. I'll drop you and kill you.
She heard a familiar voice. Ruantang's flailing hands finally stopped.
Your Highness, please put me down!
Chu Mu was covered in a scent that wasn't hers. A sweet and greasy rouge. The alcohol from her drunkenness surged up. Ruantang almost gagged.
Don't put it on me.
Then, please put me down, Your Highness, to avoid soiling your body. Ruantang's tone was a little cold, and with a hint of aloofness.
You've sprained your foot. Stay put obediently.
This prince will take you away. I wouldn't dare trouble your highness.
I'll go back myself. Chu Miu stopped and glared at her.
His face was very unpleasant. If you won't trouble this prince, you'd rather trouble Shen Qianyi.
Do you like her that much? Thinking of Ruan Tang's hand being wrapped in that Shen's hand just now, an ancient lake fire ignited in Chu Miu's heart.
Then you don't need to worry about it.
Your Highness, Ruan Tang, don't push your luck. I am trying to help you. Don't be ungrateful.
I didn't need your help, Your Highness. You offered it yourself.
Chu Miu angrily put Ruan Tang down and left without looking back. Ruan! Chu Miu walked very fast. Ruan Tang quickly lost sight of him.
Cheapskate, I just said a few words.
Was that necessary? Ruan Tang couldn't help but mutter. He looked around, knowing that this place isn't far from the main hall of the banquet. Even if Shen Qianyi appeared here now, he wouldn't dare to act rashly. Putting her mind at ease, Ruan Tang wasn't anxious anymore. She imitated, taking slow steps, leisurely walking towards the main hall of the banquet. Shaju hurriedly ran over.
Miss, are you alright?
Oh, I am fine. I just twisted my ankle.
Twisted your ankle? Is it serious? It is all my fault. I shouldn't have come back to get the shawl.
It turned out that Shen Qianyi took Ruan Tang away. At that time, Shaju was also following. But after walking a short distance, Shen Qianyi sent Shaju back for the cloak. Because Ruan Tang drank, and the night breeze was cool. It is not your fault. Go in and tell grandmother. We'll go back first. Shaju nodded and quickly ran inside. After a while, she came out.
I've already told the old madam. The old madam agreed to let Miss go back first.
Ruan Tang nodded. Shaju helped her walk towards the outside of the palace. After reaching the entrance of the palace, Ruan Tang was worried again. She came with Madame Ruan's carriage.
Oops, how could I forget about this? I am leaving now. Where can I find a carriage?
Just as Ruan Tang didn't know what to do, a carriage stopped in front of her.
Miss Ruan, please get in the carriage.
Ruan Tang recognized Nan Feng, who was by Chu Miu's side.
No need. I can wait for my grandmother.
Ruan Tang didn't want to be bothered by Chu Miu, lest the accounts become unclear. He tries to take advantage of me.
Miss Ruan, don't worry. My master said, it is not a free ride for Miss Ruan. Miss Ruan needs to pay for it.
He said, extending his hand towards Ruan Tang.
The price is 50 taels.
50 taels? Why don't you tell your master to rob someone?
Miss Ruan, don't worry. 50 taels is a good price. It is impossible to get a carriage here even during the day, let alone at night. Besides, the journey from here to the city isn't short. 50 taels is already a bargain price. If it were anyone, my master might not.
Give it for 1,000 taels. Ruan Tang pursed her lips impatiently,
saying nothing in response, but didn't move.
Miss Ruan, don't hesitate. If you miss this village, you won't find another shop like it. This banquet probably won't end for another hour or two. You don't want to wait at this door for another hour or two, do you?
Go tell your master. I don't care, and I don't want her to earn my money. Let her find another young lady to accompany.
Nan Feng didn't expect Ruan Tang to really refuse. Anxious look immediately appeared on his face.
Hey, Miss Ruan, how about I lower the price for you? 20 taels. I'll only charge you 20 taels. Anyway, I'm going back nearby. What do you say? That 10 taels is already very cheap.
No, 7 taels.
Can't go any lower?
I don't want it.
Then, how about I don't charge you anything at all? Oh, Miss Ruan, please, just get in the carriage.
Nan Feng's face is all scrunched up. He is about to cry.
Who understands me? I am just a military man. I just want to be a commander and train my troops. Isn't that great?
Huh, but recently he is being a butler, a coachman. Now he has to bargain, beg to take a ride.
And still get disliked.
You two flirting can.
Can you guys stop including me?
Chu Miu was frustrated. He was about to kneel down and beg her to get in the carriage. What kind of grudge is this woman holding against him?
I'll count to 3. Get up here now.
3. Ruan Tang still didn't move.
Ha! Trying to threaten me. No way. I've already given up. I am not afraid of death. It is just a stab anyway. I've already suffered. I'm not afraid anymore. Fu.
Finally, Chu Miu coldly said,
Nan Feng, back to the manor.
Yes. The horse neighed, took off and ran, quickly disappearing into the night. Although it is spring, the night's chill hasn't faded, and the breeze still makes you shiver.
Miss, how about we go back to the main hall first, and then go back with Nan Feng after the banquet? Ruantang shook her head. But, miss, your foot.
Shaju looked worriedly at Ruantang, who had sprained that foot.
Ah, it is nothing. Just a sprain. It is fine.
Staring blankly into the night. Now Ruantang seems to truly empathize with the Springmaster's despair, just as she was overwhelmed with sorrow. The sound of hooves came. A carriage slowly emerged from the darkness. But at this moment, the carriage stopped. But Nanfeng stared fixedly ahead. Not even a glance spared for them. The man's face was dark, and his aura was icy. He walked to Ruantang, looking down at her.
What brings your highness here?
Coldness surged in Chumu's eyes. Teach this woman a lesson. Show her she is unappreciative. But another voice restrained him. Finally, Chumu leaned down and directly scooped her up from the ground.
Your highness! What are you doing? Put me down now!
If you move again, I don't mind kissing you right now.
Shameless. Although Ruantang stopped moving, she couldn't help but mutter the insult.
If compared to you, my shamelessness is nothing. I wonder who pretended not to know me well,
and shamelessly tricked me into bed.
Ruantang's face instantly flushed red, and she was speechless. Inside the carriage, Chumu helped Ruantang up. She sat far away from him. It takes 2 hours to get from the Imperial Palace to the Jinan Marquis estate. The carriage is swaying, making Ruantang feel dizzy, and it seems the alcohol she has struggled to sober up from is coming back. Ruantang couldn't help but start dozing off again. Ruantang's hand rested on Chumu's chest. A little flustered.
Sorry, I didn't mean to. Please, let me go, your highness.
However, Chumu just chuckled, and then softly called, Ru, Shang.
You are the one who offered yourself into my arms. Then, I, this king, won't stand on ceremony.
Before Ruantang could react, Chumu's kiss landed. Exasperated, Ruantang had inspiration, and curled her fingers. She pinched him through Chumu's clothes. Chumu trapped Ruantang's lips, and let out a groan, utterly suggestive. The next second, Chumu did release Ruantang's lips. His eyes became scarlet.
He said hoarsely, "Where are you pinching?"
Ruantang's hand was still on Chumu's chest, pinching his flesh. Her eyes, which had been somewhat dazed, became much clearer because of Chumu's words. Ruantang couldn't help but follow Chumu's gaze. Focusing on her own hand, Ruantang flushed crimson, pulling her hand away. Not on purpose, he smiled wickedly, leaning close.
I don't believe it.
As he spoke, he gently brushed against Ruantang.
You must be deliberately teasing this prince. And now, what do you say we do?
I didn't. Don't misunderstand.
She pinched his sensitive spot. That really wasn't right.
But he was already.
From the moment Chumu pinned her down to kiss her, she already felt it. How could it be, because of her pinch, that he was aroused?
Your highness, have mercy. I am not feeling well, and cannot serve you.
It is all right. I can serve you. I'll be gentle.
But I don't want your highness's service.
Please, your highness, let me go. Ruantang, you've been taking liberties lately. Have I been too lenient with you?
Chumu felt he was already demeaning himself for Ruantang. Is it really that difficult for him to please me?
Or does she really care so much about Shen Qianyi? So now she wants to remain chaste for her.
Thinking about this, Chumu's dark eyes grew even colder.
I have always been aware of my place, knowing that I am unworthy of your highness. If your highness desires a woman, with a single command, countless women would be willing to submit to you. Why should your highness bother with me, and find it so frustrating?
What if I only want you? What would you do?
Please don't joke around. I am already engaged. Maybe in not too long, I will be married. Why should your highness demean yourself like this, and ruin your own reputation?
Chumu scoffed coldly. Reputation?
Humph. Do you think I have any good reputation in this capital city? Or even the entire Great Zhou? Just forcing a woman. I can still afford this reputation.
Besides, he said. He straightened his fingers and slipped them under Ruantang's skirt.
Who dares to take the person this prince wants? As long as you agree to stay by my side, I can immediately
dissolve the engagement between you and Shen, Qian, Yanni.
阮唐看了一下，还说了副 raised her hand to stop Chu Mu's presumptuous hand. Compared to the backyards of ordinary families, the royal harem is even more ruthless.
No, no, Your Highness. I am satisfied with the engagement and have no intention of cancelling it. I hope Your Highness will be merciful.
Meeting Chu Mu's horrified gaze, she continued.
I know Your Highness is currently interested in my body. I can make a deal with Your Highness. For a period of 3 months, my body belongs to Your Highness. I don't want anything from Your Highness. Just release my servants and maids. And don't interfere with my matters. 6 months later, we'll go our separate ways, free as birds. Is that agreeable?
Chu Mu narrowed his eyes, a dangerous look on his face. This deal is all benefits to him. But Chu Mu became more upset. Chu Mu took his hand out of Ruantang's clothes, released her, sat up, moved aside, ignoring her. 7 days later, Liang Xiang appeared in Haitang courtyard again.
Miss, Master Shen is here. The old lady asked you to go to Fushan Garden to have tea with Master Shen.
Ruantang didn't think Shen Qianni was here to have tea with her. After Ruantang went in, she first saluted old Madame Ruan, and then bowed to Shen Qianni.
Tang, 今天 you came today, wanting to invite you to take a boat trip on West Lake. You've been back for quite some time now. It is time you went out
with your fiancé to get to know each other better. Seeing Ruantang dazed and not responding, old Madame Ru frowned slightly. Tang, what is wrong? Ruantang snapped out of it and shook her head.
Grandmother, I am fine. Maybe I didn't sleep well last night.
And I am a little listless. Then you should go out for a walk to clear your head. Quickly. Go with your cousin Qianyi.
Ruantang couldn't refuse and forced a smile. Okay.
Then, Grandaunt, Tang and I are leaving.
Go, have fun. In the carriage, Ruantang chose a spot next to the door, deliberately distancing herself from Shen Qianyi.
Tang, why are you sitting so far away?
Come here and sit on this cushion. No need. I am not feeling well. It is less bumpy here. You'll feel better.
Shen Qianyi's lips curved into a smile. Tang
seems to be afraid of me.
No, I am not. In reality, Ruantang was indeed afraid of her. Shen Qianyi still wore a gentle smile.
So, you know about me and Qingluan?
Ruantang thought Shen Qianyi wouldn't admit it, and would keep pretending to be clueless, stringing her and Ruan Qingluan along, and then flirting with Ruan Changguan again, enjoying the bliss of having multiple partners all to himself.
Tang, you are so smart. Don't play dumb with your cousin. I know. I can't hide this from Tang. So why put on an act with my cousin? Huh?
Ruantang still wanted to laugh it off and muddle through, but Shen Qianyi suddenly became affectionate.
Don't worry, Tang. Qingluan and I are just putting on a show. I won't marry her. The person I want to marry has always been Tang. 我和姑丈, my grandaunt and I agreed that, after the Dragon Boat Festival, I will propose and marry Tang.
Ruantang was so frightened by his words that she almost lost her composure, fell off her seat.
Why are you looking at me like that? Tang, are you unhappy? Why? What do you mean? Why? My engagement with Ruantang has been delayed for so many years. It is time to give you a proper status.
How could Ruantang possibly believe his nonsense?
The person you clearly like isn't me. You are clearly having ambiguous relationships with Qingluan and Changguan as well. Why do you still want to marry me? Do you really want to enjoy the bliss of having multiple wives? Take all 3 sisters from our family
into your harem. After Ruantang finished speaking, Shen Qianyi burst out laughing.
Tang, you really aren't the same Tang as before. You've become a bit smarter after being away. But rest assured, no matter what happens between me and them, the person I've always wanted to marry is you.
Ruantang, 你做梦 in your dreams.
I will never marry you.
If you don't marry me, who does Tang want to marry? His Highness Prince Ning? What do you mean? Tang is still clear about my affairs, about Tang. How could I not know anything about it? But, rest assured, Tang, if you marry me obediently, your secret, I will never reveal a single detail. I guarantee it will be kept a secret forever. But if Tang doesn't obey, when Grand Aunt learns that Tang was not yet married, she engages in an illicit relationship. Grand Aunt will do anything to protect Jing'an Marquis Manor's reputation.
Shen Qianyi didn't continue speaking, but Ruantang knew it all too well.
How do you know Prince Ning won't marry me because of this?
HMF810 is so naive. Who is Prince Ning? Do you think you are worthy to be his princess? A woman who lost virginity before married can never enter the royal family. Besides, Chu Miu is so arrogant. He would never marry. Who is of no use to his political achievements. Stop the carriage!
Keep going. But the coachman continued to drive the carriage as if he couldn't hear Ruantang.
Atan, why bother? My cousin said. As long as you are obedient, I will definitely treat you well.
Ruantang glared at Shen Qianyi. But there was nothing she could do. Soon, the carriage stopped by Westlake. Ruantang was reluctant, but was ultimately dragged onto a large cruise ship by Shen Qianyi. But what made her feel fortunate was they weren't the only two people on this boat. A touch of mockery appeared on Ruantang's lips. Ignoring them, she went into the cabin. She found the cabin assigned to her. Ruantang lay on the bed inside for a while. Ruantang had been forcing herself to stay awake, but she was so dizzy that she couldn't help but fall asleep. Ah, why are you here? She looked puzzled. Just now, in the dream, how afraid she was that it was Shen Qianyi, that psycho. Seeing that it wasn't Shen Qianyi, the string in her heart relaxed unconsciously.
You can come, but I can't.
Seeing that she didn't respond, Chu Miu's face darkened a bit.
I just haven't seen her for a few days, and she dares to go boating with Shen Qinyi behind my back.
She's getting bolder and bolder. Don't you not want to marry Shen Qinyi? Why did you come boating with her?
If I hadn't seen Ruantang alone in the cabin right now, he would have killed Shen Qianyi immediately. If I said I was forced, would you believe me?
Humph, how impressive. You dare to be insolent with me, but you are spineless with others.
Ruantang frowned, disagreeing with what he said. Seasick, Ruantang didn't hide it from him, and gently hummed a reply.
Next time, you don't want to do something, just refuse. There is no need to make yourself suffer like this.
She wants to refuse, too, but she has no power or influence now, and no one to rely on. How dare she refuse?
Your Highness, didn't we agree on something before? I agreed to your request. You should return my servant girl to me. When will you return her to me?
If Qingfeng were by my side, she wouldn't be afraid of Shen Qianyi anymore.
I didn't expect little Ruantang to be so scheming.
As he spoke, Chu Miu's hand clasped her waist. Ruantang didn't understand what Chu Miu had just said, but after his touch, she immediately understood. Chu Miu didn't give Ruantang any chance to resist, and directly covered her lips. Your Highness, it is not safe.
Someone could come in.
Chu Miu looked up at Ruantang and stopped his movements. A moment later, Ruantang was already in another cabin. Chu Miu didn't give Ruantang much time to react, and even mounted her directly.
Your Highness, is there a contraception soup here? If not, could your Highness do it outside?
No need to worry. I've already taken it. You don't need to.
Huh? You? What did you take?
Ruantang looked at him, somewhat puzzled, but soon understood, looking at Chu Miu with astonishment.
Why, I asked the imperial physician. It is not good for a woman to long-term consume contraceptive medicine. For a long time, I don't want you to die before the year is up. That would be too easy for you. When I say a year, it'll be a year. I wouldn't even want to torment you a day less. I wouldn't be happy.
Who knew the proud, aloof Prince Ning would take contraceptive medicine? How fortunate I am, perhaps, because Ruantang was happy. They were both very pleased. In her sleep, Ruantang felt difficulty breathing, as if something was blocking her breath. She suddenly opened her eyes, and then couldn't help coughing violently. Taking advantage of this moment, she finally saw clearly that the room was filled with smoke. How could Ruantang dare to stay in bed? She scrambled out of bed, rolling and crawling. Ruantang didn't dare hesitate, wrapped in the soaking wet quilt, and crawled out. Soon, she reached the deck. Arriving there, she saw people scattered on the deck. Their bodies were covered in blood. Where had Ruantang ever seen such a bloody scene? She was so frightened that her legs went weak. She hadn't recovered yet. Several men in black appeared on the deck. The knives in their hands were still dripping with blood. Ruantang was scared out of her wits. As Ruantang was caught, arrows pierced the air. The man leading the chase after Ruantang fell to the ground. Ruantang, panting heavily, turned and collapsed on the deck. She noticed, covered in blood, at the cabin entrance, Chu Miu. Chu Miu was also on the verge of death. He must have been the one who shot those arrows. Only when she got closer to Chu Mu did she notice several wounds on his body. There is also an arrow stuck in his shoulder blade. Poisoned. Your Highness, are you alright? However, Chu Mu just slightly lifted his eyelids. Unable to respond to him, Ruantang had no choice but to pull off a plank and throw it into the water. Then he pushed Chu Mu directly into the water. He also jumped in right after. After doing all this, Ruantang then pushed the plank with Chu Mu and swam forward. He doesn't know how much further he has to swim to reach the shore. At this rate, forget about saving Chu Mu. Black and white impermanence will come to pick me up soon.
Your Highness, you are a prince. Surely good fortune will befall you. Wait for me here. After I get ashore, I'll definitely find someone to save you.
Ruantang waited for a moment and decided to leave Chu Mu here. However, Ruantang swam for almost an hour without reaching the shore. Ruantang's legs started cramping. His mind was gradually becoming muddled. Just when Ruantang thought he was about to give up, tightening around his waist, he burst out of the water and kicked his legs backwards.
Shut up! Behave yourself if you don't want to die.
The voice of the person behind him sounded. It was actually a woman's voice. Ruantang's tense heart immediately relaxed. And the woman who had just gone into the water to call her
also climbed onto the boat. Girl, hurry and get inside. Are you trying to freeze to death? Brother, really? You've let the girl shiver from the cold, and you didn't even think
to let her go inside. After Ruantang sat in the cabin, she suddenly remembered that Chu Mu was still
soaking in the water. Could you help me save someone else? Who is it? Another delicate little lady like you?
She and her brother came to the capital to find her cousin.
No, it is a man. He is injured. I tied him to a wooden board. But I don't know how he is now. Can you go and take a look? Why not? Brother, go save them.